Kevin, you always smirk when I say whip out some new strategy. You know, maybe it's the East Coast slang.
How effective is he going to whip it out right now?
Or maybe it's that I owned several whips as a child. I was a big Indiana Jones fan, and I actually used to try to use them to climb trees in my front yard. We had this big, I think it's an oak tree. It's the one that drops the little twirlies.
Yeah.
The things that's what twirlers.
I've literally never had anyone look at me and say the phrase, "I owned several whips as a child." I'm just putting that out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game in the bottom left-hand corner. From the team Evil Geniuses, the Terran player from Korea. He is Puma. And he is facing off against in the top right-hand corner, starting things off very nicely here for Team FXO. He is Choya.
That's right.
Who was impressing me last game, man.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, I mean, he pulled off a nice expansion. He held that third base. I mean, that's the difference in him finding his rhythm in the game and not, really. Because he held off the first attack, then Jaedong suicided a bunch of Zerglings into him twice afterwards.
And he killed Jaedong's third and his fourth.
Right, yeah. I mean, just retaining that third and keeping it the entire game. He never lost a Nexus. I'm sorry, he lost the one that was constructing over the fourth when it had just started, but that was it.
He had 1,500 men also.
Right, no, not the biggest deal for him.
Yeah. This is Antigua Shipyard, however. A little bit tougher map for Protoss players. Terrans, you know, I mean, if you're facing up against a player like MVP, you, for all you know, could find yourself bunkered into your natural expansion with no way of escape.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of the things I think that we've really seen Terrans shine with on this map has been just the versatility of strategies that this is just why I bring up the MVP match that I'm recalling right now. There's just so many options on Antigua Shipyard.
Yeah. And Puma is a player who's very flexible with his strategies too. He obviously was very popular off of a variety of all-ins. Since then, he's grown into a very dynamic player who has a lot of strategies at his disposal. But he's someone who you can't really anticipate what sort of a look you're going to get.
Yeah, no, definitely a great point. It's kind of funny how you do see a lot of these players. They kind of start off with like a really distinctive play style that is just theirs. They find incredible success with it. But then very often, they kind of adapt and morph as needed into something even more versatile and even better.
Yeah,
and I mean, that's definitely what we've seen here for Puma.
Think of Creator Prime, PvT specialist, who had that 3-base, super fast 3/3 upgrades Colossus build prepared. That's what he did. Then he's now just one of the best players in the world.
You've got to wonder, do you think it, I'm just curious, do you think it makes, it's more of a mental, like, you kind of get that mental boost you need, you feel like as you're beating some of the best players in the world with all these all-ins. Is that what makes it that now you're able to break through? I
don't know. I mean, because it gives you big game experience because you're slotted into team league situations and things like that. Other players like Startail Parting, similar sort of situation. PvT specialist, got a lot of big game experience playing in team leagues at a time when Terrans were dominant, gained him some confidence, went on from there, ended up just producing. I mean, obviously now he's arguably one of the best players in the entire world.
Yeah.
We have Marine King Prime, who he had done more in individual leagues, found and kind of exploited the strength of the Marine at a time when people didn't really know how to deal with it as much, had these very creative Marine all-in strategies, but since then has become a very versatile player. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to have a long game on our hands. We actually have a 4-gate coming out of Choya. This is not scouted by Puma.
Yep, he
Choya
does not
shuts
even
that
get
down.
up the ramp, which is actually really, really nice for him. He also did not see the probe head out across the map. Puma does have a lot of barracks, though. 4.
Yes.
That is a lot.
That's certainly true, and he shuts down that forward pylon. That should tip Puma off that something is happening, so I don't think we're going to see anything yet. He's already pre-pulling his SEVs when this command center finishes up so he can pull them off the line, trying to finish up this first bunker so we can get some units in there, and it looks like he will get the first one done. Thought about building a second one too, and he may very well need it.
And it is going to be starting up here. Choya coming in right now with the Stalkers. There's a lot of open ground to the left, but notice Puma built the bunker on the bottom, so Marines and units, he'll be able to fire them from the top of the ramp if those Stalkers do try to force their way past.
Look at this, and now already Choya has taken a lot of time. He's not made his way in with his first round of warpins. We can see that there's already a couple of structures that are blocking this off up at the front. Puma has a few SEVs here to be able to defend this bunker whenever, if it would happen this SUV would get killed, he could keep building it.
Yep.
Puma really just has everything going for him. This is still a strong army coming up for Choya, though, and Choya's actually just going to run around the side. He picks off a couple of units, gets a few of those Stalkers surrounded.
Wow. And this is, I mean, we're only seeing it very minorly right now, but Choya has the high ground, guys. Now, he's going to be able to warp in some Zealots up here. That's pretty nice for him, but effectively, I think Puma has enough Marines here. Oh, these Zealots are even stuck now, taking tons of damage, and only 4 units do remain for Choya. He does still have vision. He's pretty low on money. We'll see if Puma's going to be able to finish this.
Puma can take huge losses here, though. That's the thing. He has a second base. He has 4 barracks done. Even though he's lost 8 workers, he doesn't care about that at all. He finishes the pylon off before the Zealots can make their way onto the high ground, and that alone may be enough for Choya to be out of this game. There it is, GG. So Evil Geniuses taking a game back, ties it up there. Puma, pretty impressive 4-gate hold there.
Yeah, I mean, you run into those situations where when you aren't provided the information you need, you assume the worst case scenario. And
yes.
Puma knew in that situation, he says, okay, I haven't seen that you have an expansion. You could, but, you know, worst case scenario right now is that you are 4-gating me, so I'm just going to play it super, super safe. He did, and he proves victorious, tying up the series 1-1.
Yeah, that pylon up at the front, that's a pretty big giveaway. That was a very quick game number 2. Game number 3 is going to star Evil Geniuses Puma versus FXO Lucky. The next player to come in, it's going to be TVZ. We're moving to Whirlwind. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after this.